Today I want to talk about the chaos or complexity theory. Chaos or complexity theory explains some complex phenomena which could not be illustrated with traditional and mechanical theories. Though it was initially applied in biological field, Nathan Freeman later adopted to language acquisition. In her opinion, language learning and development is a complex process that involves many in-class controllable factors such as the classroom environment, institutional power of the teacher, teaching personality, and lesson plan. Simultaneously, learners' diversity and out-class context can also affect their language learning. Therefore, many factors affect language acquisition, and all of these elements together constitute a complex system. As part of the result of Daniel Lasson Freeman studies on chaos theory, she proposed several characteristics based on theory to help define language, language learning, and language development, respectively. Begin with, language itself is considered dynamic, complex, and open. Being dynamic means language is ever changing constantly. Its complexity results from the constant interaction of different components. Open suggests that the flow of language drifts in and out without any barriers. Freeman considered language learning to be self-organizing and adaptive. Being self-organizing means that the interaction of parts will result in an overall structure or pattern during language learning. Being adaptive means the nature of continuous adjustment to fit best with the environment. Language development is featured as nonlinear, that the learning effort will not be proportional to the results learner achieve. In the complexity theory, language system is chaos and complex. The language learning and developing factors usually put implication on language in various ways. There is no factors that could influence language learning in a linearity way. It could explain why learners might not fully understand what they hear in class at first, but later on might comprehend it. Another phenomenon could also be explained by nonlinearity. To be specific, the process of language learning is just like a child who paints different colors with concentric circles. Firstly, he paints the central one, but maybe he will leave some blanks, and these blanks will be filled when he draws the second or third concentric circles. According to corrections I+1 theory, that means the process is not simply from I to I+1 to I+2. Sometimes the process may circle back and it have not predictable and concludable sequences. Grammar would be a good example to explain the phenomenon. As a normal order, the students always learn the present tense first and then past tense or future tense. We can obviously find the students will not grasp all the meaning of the present tense when they first learned. But as the teaching of the other two tenses, they understand it better than previously, although we do not know when the understanding happened or developed. Teachers should pay attention to the class environment because even small factors can change a lot in the language classroom. Here, I recommend to apply student-centered instruction. In this instruction, learners are the main part of the classroom. Instead of judging students' performance, and instructors will try to understand the underlying rhythm of the students' behaviors and notice learners' need and emotion. With this notification, instructors will more likely to notice every small factor in the classroom and ameliorate their pedagogy. Over historical time, language changed dramatically and unpredictable by the accumulation of small change and by interaction with other languages. So, in chaos or complexity view, the language system is not stable. It is changing all the time. While students formulate or apply rules that may not be accurate, it does not mean that those rules will stay that way. Students are able to alter these rules with input and interaction.
The Chinese word "to how" was involved in the Britain English Dictionary in 2012 because it was popular on the internet. People find "to how," which refers to rich people, to be aptly worded because the newer riches has a garish taste and lacks good cultural taste and sophistication. Although "to-how" is a derisive term, it is being widely used by netizens to poke fun and ritual like luxurious products with little use or content. The same condition occurs for another word, 大妈, which refers to older women who have a lot of leisure time. These two words adopted into English are a good example to show language dynamics.
The implication of being dynamic can be understood into two ways. Firstly, language itself is dynamic, which means instructors should pay attention to the real-time change of language in order to let them instructor be practical. Secondly, learners' understanding of language is dynamic. With the improvement of their language proficiency, learners can understand some language rules simultaneously. Therefore, a teacher can give students more space to let them understand the rules on their own instead of denying students answers directly in the classroom. Lesson from regards language learning as a complex adaptive system, which means the system consists a lot of multiple agents interacting with others, just like a second language learner in a speech community. As Clark said, there are 4 stages in language learning process, which are producing and attending to the utterance, formulating and identifying the proposition, signaling and recognizing the communicative intention, and proposing and taking up the joint action. And these 4 stages are not stable if will easily influenced by the language users and speakers. Thus, in language learning, everyone may have the possibility to affect the language model. However, as Bratman pointed, the individual action that form the joint action must be coordinated for the joint action to be carried out successfully.
When we first learn English, teacher may tell us when we want to greet with others, we should not say "long time no see," because this sentence has grammatical error. However, as it's widely used, it was adopted by the English language speakers, and now it is a correct and common way to greeting.
From this example, we need to know as a teacher, we also need to hold an open mind to language learning. There is no totally correct answer or wrong answer. Also, we need to encourage the student to adapt the language changing and encourage them learning by themselves to deal with it. First language plays an irreplaceable role in second language learning, and influence of the first language can be both negative and positive. Specifically, when first language and second language are similar, first language tends to imply a positive influence on second language learning. However, when there is a big differences between the first language and the second language, the influence could be negative.
For example, if we understand the sentence "I am who I am" by using Chinese syntax, this sentence could be referred to the meaning that I feel confused about my personality.
In this video, I talked about the complexity theory in language, language learning, and language development separately. Language itself is a dynamic, open, and complex system. Language learning is a self-organized and adaptive system. Moreover, language development is non-linear. Uh, Criticisms on this theory point out that Darrison Freeman has overemphasized the complexity and dynamicity of the language systems and ignored the stability and itself. However, we cannot deny that the complexity theory provide a new science in second language field.